excuse my compressor. So I'm gonna let the dust roll out of here, but I scuffed this. Honestly, I don't know if you're supposed to scuff plastic or not. I got adhesion promoter. I'm gonna try that before I'm gonna prime this. We're gonna prime the top of the hood. I'm not priming the bottom. We're gonna prime the top of the hood, and we're gonna prime the fender. I still have to go over this and sand it some more. And before I throw regular primer on this, I'm gonna go over it with some rust converter, because there is some surface rust. And I'm also gonna go over it with self-etching primer, since I got down to bare metal in some of these places. So hopefully that'll help with the paint sticking. Not really concerned with painting the inside of here, but I am going to paint more. All they did was paint right at the edge of all this. I'm going to make sure I paint all that and around the lip here and down this. This doesn't need to be painted because it's covered, but I'm going to get some on it anyways. That'll help with rust protection. Then after we get primer on this, I'm going to flip the hood over and we're going to hand sand that. And I'm going to do a coat of the paint on the bottom side of the hood. And I'm not clearing it. I'm just going to go over it with the paint. We're going to let that dry, and then that's when we'll go over it and paint the rest of it. Alright, so I figured I'd get a little bit more in depth with the painting since it's been going good for me. Not necessarily I know what I'm doing, but I'll just tell you how I do it. Anyway, on my air tank here, I drain the pet caulk on the bottom. You can see it's wet down there. I let the moisture out. Both these filters right here, I had to get the moisture out of this one, clean it up, and then I put new desiccant in this one, which is this stuff here. That stuff turns pink once it gets wet, but that keeps a lot of the moisture out that's coming out of the tanks. Also never used this adhesive adhesion promoter. I'm gonna use that on the grill before I spray the primer, but that's all we're doing today is spraying primer, and I'm only doing the top side of the hood. I've been using Shopline, which is a lower priced product. I've been having really good results with it, but this is their 2K primer, JP202. You mix this 2K undercoat hardener in it. It's JH301. I think it's 4-to-1. They always say right on the can, as you can see right here, and there's a couple ways you can do it too. There's different ways you can mix it, but this is the way we're mixing it here. So 4 parts of the Shopline primer and then 1 part of the hardener, so it doesn't make as much. When you do paint, it's like 1-to-1. So if you get half a pint, you can mix up a pint, basically. I got acetone for cleaning my gun. I always do that whenever I'm done with. I put acetone in the gun, and then I go down and disassemble it completely after I'm done with it. So I'm going to be using this green Harbor Freight gun. Yes, I have all Harbor Freight guns. Yes, I do. So let me go ahead. I'm going to turn heaters on. These blowers I've been using. Turn these on. That'll warm it up in here. But instant heat. That's great. So I'm going to continue sanding on this to get like this ready, because I'm going to prime like a lot of this. I'm not worried about in the wheel well as much, but around the edges and stuff and down here where it's starting to get some surface rust and stuff, I want to get all of this taken care of so we don't have a problem with rust in the future. Let me get set up and then I'll get the camera rolling again. Oh, also I forgot, I always run a filter and a regulator right on the gun. These help with moisture as well. There's all kinds of different ones you can get, but I always run, every one of my guns has a filter and a regulator on it. Alright, so I took wax and grease remover and went over everything twice. Actually, I went over the hood 3 times because I could just, you could see the dust that was still on there. So I went over it 3 times, got it all cleaned up. Now I'm priming right now, so I'm not going to wet the floor. I don't have to worry about it being dust free in here because we got to sand it afterwards anyway. So it's going to sand any dirt or imperfections out that we got. But they're fairly clean now. So I'm going to get my gun loaded up. Actually, I need to spray that adhesive promoter. I'm gonna wait until I'm ready to load my gun, and I'm gonna spray that on this because it says it's ready to paint in 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, ready to paint in 5 minutes. So I imagine to have a chemical bond to it, you want to stay in a certain time frame. And it doesn't really give you extensive details on here. It just says wait 5 to 10 minutes before applying your next coating. And that's it. That's all it says. So, never used it before. We're going to find out today. We're going to learn today. I got to go get my other cameras because I don't want to use this camera while I am painting because I don't want to get it all messed up. Okay. I'm gonna let everything air dry. This is like midweek. I'm gonna go clean my paint gun. The grill I demasked because I wanted to have crisp lines, and they actually, it looks pretty good if you ask me. So that turned out really nice. But I'm gonna have to sand that and get that ready for paint. But yeah, the adhesive promoter, I don't know, it looks like it worked pretty good. It still went on smooth, so I'm happy with that. The hood looks pretty dang smooth now. I don't see any dents. It looks a little tiger striped at the moment, and that is because it's a big surface. And when I sand it, those tiger stripes will go away. The fender, I put 4 coats on just because of all the imperfections and stuff in it, so it's going to go good. I totally forgot, and I wish I would have did it before I went through all this. But this tab needs welded on right here. Look at this. This tab's tore up. And they showed that to me there. But I can weld that regardless, and I'll just put some touch-up on whatever paint I have left. But I think they did that there. But I also put primer on it, so now I gotta clean that off to even weld it. It needs welded back here. Actually, it's broke there. That's all busted up right there. Yeah, nice. But like I said, always clean your gun. So I'm gonna clean up my area here, clean up my gun, and later in the week I'm gonna sand these and get them ready. We gotta flip the hood over. I'm gonna Scotch-Brite that. We gotta strip it down. Tape over the stickers under the hood so you don't paint those. But we're going to Scotch-Brite everything so that the paint sticks to it.
I didn't prime it because it doesn't matter if it matches, just as long as it's close, then we're good.
I'm really liking my new workbench. Like, this thing's got so much room on it, and it's packed full. That's all Z parts. I put all of the Z parts on there so that I had them kind of organized. I'm going to be putting the side glass in because I want to get it done. So I bought a caulking gun. It's a sausage caulking gun. I know that sounds dirty, but that's what it is. Because I got all the stuff here to do it. Now, I did some stuff off camera. I sprayed, and I only did one coat because it coated very well. I took the paint that I have to paint these parts and scuffed the underside of the hood so that it will match. Now, I didn't spray the center because that's covered with insulation, but one coat. I did that yesterday. I wanted it to be dry today so I can flip this over and not worry about it sticking to my my cart there. But I already sanded that. I gotta finish masking that. I need to sand the top of the hood. I already sanded the fender and it's already ready to go. Also, because the Z's almost finished and I sat down and I thought about it, one of my fleet has to go. I'll let you guys guess down in the comment, but I've already listed it for sale and already have lots of interest in it, which I was pretty surprised. So I'm thinking it's going to be leaving here soon. We'll go over it in the next episode, but yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be leaving here like in a minute. So you've already watched me mask this grill up once. I'm not going to do that. We'll do a time lapse of me sanding the hood, so it's ready. I need to wipe everything down, and then we'll wet the floor. We'll mix our paint and spray her down. Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. Alright, so I got my water spritzer ready right here so I can wet the floor down. It is pretty dusty. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and spray it down now. That way it kind of tacks to the ground. I have to wipe everything down yet. So I'm going to go over this with grease and wax remover 2 times. Go over the grill, the hood, and the fender. Wipe it all down. The grease and wax remover I'm using is this stuff. It's not cheap. Grow Automotive HET, High Efficiency Technology, whatever. It smells like lighter fluid, basically. So I'm not going to film that because it's kind of boring. I'll start filming once I start mixing my paint and I'm ready to shoot. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame. Cause I break the chains, can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys. Cause I break the chains, they try to hold me. I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see.
Everything's got 3 coats on it. I forgot to record the 3rd coat. Whatever, it is what it is. I made some mistakes, but it wasn't in the paint. It was just the way I was spraying. So everything turned out pretty good, actually. Now I got to mix up my clear coat, and I already wet the floor down. In between my 3rd coat of paint and the 1st coat of clear, I take my gun down to my basement. I have a steel sink down there, and I clean the gun. So spray after I'm done spraying, I clean the gun. That gives you enough time for the paint to flash. So then when you paint the clear, it's going to stick to it. So now I'm going to mix up my clear. I have plenty of time to flash now. And we're going to clear coat this stuff. Hopefully I don't get any runs. If I do, I think it's going to be in the grill. But I'm going to try not to. So we'll see how this turns out.
Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm saying, man. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am. Boom, boom, boom. Major look, huh? Yeah, this one is for the books. All these chances I took still. I move straight on these rooks now. Hold me up or hold me down, have my back or hold my crown. Either you with me or not, but you better give all you got, cause I break.
So we're on to the very last coat. I let it flash, and we're going to spray. I don't know if I'm going to spray the grill anymore. Put 2 coats on, it looks really good. So I might just leave it be. But I want to coat the fender one more time and the hood one more time. I keep making a mistake. I keep leaving the freaking cap on top of the paint jug on the gun, the reservoir. So this very last coat, I'm going to make sure I take that cap off. I put it on there to save it from, you know, setting up inside the gun, and then I forget to take it off, and then it's spray shoddy. So for doing that a couple times, it actually looks really good. I just need to slow down. I'm like trying to go too fast. So last coat. I will say the old fender sitting there, and I have the hood and the fender and stuff here. The color looks really close. I can't tell, but it looks really close. So that's a good thing. Last coat of clear. Let's get it. That's right, we messed up on the grill. I got runs. And I even called that. I even said before I sprayed, if I get runs on anything, it's going to be the grill. Well, guess what I got runs on the grill. And guess what else happened? I just noticed it broke 2 tabs. While I was out getting the windshield replaced on the Kia, I come back in the garage, and the grill was laying on the ground. Thankfully, the only thing it did to this grill was scuff it right at the very end there. A little bit of dirt and a clear right there. I'm going to just put a little bit of touch up on that. It's right on the bottom edge, just a little bit of touch up there. I think we can maybe polish that out, but thankfully it didn't do anything else. Put a little tiny scuff right there. Not bad at all. I'll take that for falling over. Yeah. Thankfully it didn't break, but that's where I'm at. Hood turned out really good. I see one fisheye right here, and that's about it. The fender turned out really, really good. I mean, it turned out wonderful, and the color looks right too. Only downside is I probably should have used a little bit of glazing putty. I can still see that D etched into the fender right there. Yeah, just slightly. It's not bad, but it's just slightly there. But the fender looks really nice. The hood looks pretty decent for not spraying it right for a while. I mean, that looks pretty dang good, and the grill looks pretty good too. So before I throw all this stuff on, though, I want to do the transmission cooler on the Avalanche. That's the only thing really I need to do is the transmission cooler. Then I want to check codes. We'll see which one of those blend door actuators is bad, and we'll pull that out and replace it. And then we can start slapping these parts on, and it's going to be nice. But anyways, that's going to be a wrap on this episode. So if you guys enjoyed the painting video, then stay tuned, because I'm sure there'll be more videos to come. I don't care that I made mistakes, that I have runs, because obviously this is only my 3rd or 4th paint job now. Like, I'm a beginner, so mistakes are going to be made. I'm not perfect. You learn as you go. I think they look really good for the skill set that I have, so
I'm cool with it. So, anyways, if you guys like this video, smash that like button. Consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom wants to adjust my flow nozzle. And we'll see you on the next episode of
Unwrapped.
Here's how it goes when it's an hour before it's time for them to eat. Stewie's the negotiator. He comes out and makes himself known, and then she sits back and makes sure that it gets unfolded. Make sure that everything goes down right. Hey.